Well, yet again, as we do continue to mention that we are obviously very delighted as we celebrate International Women's Day in honor of the contributions that women in this world have obviously made. So happy Women's Day to whoever is out there. We do thank the women for the whatever contribution they have made in whatever capacities. Back to the cricket. Very well struck there. Beautiful on drive, Ivan.
Pumped down the ground this time again for one. Looks like tidy on that occasion from Pooja. Takes care of that drifter again. Saima has shown consistently that she can drift the ball in. But what I've also observed, the Nepalese seem to be quite comfortable with the ball that drifts into their pads. And on the contrary, very uncomfortable with something that is quite wide and far from their reach. It would be interesting to see if the Namibian bowlers examine that kind of loophole and how the Nepalese respond.
Beautifully driven down to that vacant extra cover region. And the captain, Idu Bama, is underway. It's been an interesting passage of play for both teams, really. It's been a lot happening. Clear intent from both teams. Of course, the intent was led by Sajhana Kumari, but with the very famous third name, Kadka, a former captain of that Nepalese side, a legend in Nepal cricket, now current secretary of that association. He led from the front, and many Nepalese will thank him for the contribution he did make to Nepalese cricket.
Paras Kadka, if I get it right.
You're spot on, Ivan. Very good friend of mine. Had a couple of battles in our days on opposite ends. Can't exactly say where the battle, who won more of the battles. I'll probably receive a message from him killing me about it. But back to the cricket itself. Saima continuing to operate in that line, not giving the batters a lot of room.
Yeah, the examination is around off stump and outside off stump for the Nepalese. Yeah, I remember meeting Paras once or twice in the UAE, although we never got to speak, but it was nice to meet him then and to hear what he has gone on to accomplish and achieve for and in Nepal. It's quite impressive. And I wish him all the best in his current endeavors in trying to navigate the Nepalese ship on the murky seas of international cricket.
That's true. The Nepalese side, I know. The men's side, I think, are in Windhoek. But with that, dot ball brings an end to the fourth, and Nepal are 26 for 2. Correction there. I think there's one delivery to go. But I was telling you, I think the Nepalese men's side is in Windhoek. They're trying to play. They're playing in that particular tournament. They'll be playing against Netherlands and the home team Namibia. With that, dot ball brings valuable points for both teams there. For the three teams. 26 for 2. Uganda obviously are a touch lower than that division, but they'll be hoping to get into that battle for ODI status in a couple of months down the road.
Namibia is not doing too badly either. We'll get back to that after this ball. Very well played. Defends that. Getting nothing out of it. End of the fourth over, 26 for 2. Only get 3 out of that over. Saima will continue. Sorry, Wilka will continue from the lake end, or popularly called airport end. It's surprising there has been no employment of a slip so far, maybe on one or two occasions, but generally there has been no employment of the slips. And as we speak, they've edged that one right through that area we are talking about. Singles. I think the team that manages to regulate the singles, the flow of singles, will be able to have the upper hand. of the slips.
You just get a feeling that the blueprint for most of the teams will be to try and get
Area we are
anywhere
talking
close
about.
to that 90-run mark. That's a dust jump. Wide delivery. I don't know. I feel it's a little bit too early to go for that wide yorker. A tactic, obviously, that a lot of teams use at the back end of the inning. But at this stage in the power play, you feel it becomes then a boundary scoring option for batters because that extra cover region is obviously vacant at this stage. But the Nepalese captain, Indu Bam, as I did mention, he stands a bit way too far down the leg side, and that creates a bit of a challenge.
Wilka drifts into Indu's pads again. I would like to see her consistently asking questions outside off stump. And we see how good Indu is at driving, as well as the rest of the Nepalese batters. That adjustment usually can be made. Drifts again, knocks the pose out. Wicket number 3 down. Wilka, with her persistence on that line, picks up the 3rd wicket. It's 27 for 3. Very good bowling on this occasion. Nepal is in all kinds of trouble at the moment. The pose out, knocks the pose out. Wicket number 3 down.
Beautiful delivery right in the block hole. Toe crusher, you would say. And that's ricocheted off the boot into that leg stump. Nepal in a bit of trouble, 27 for 3. I'll tell you something, Ivan, that Nepal have scored a total of 8 runs in the last 18 deliveries. So a bit of, you would think that you'd feel that Nepal, actually Namibia, have pulled things back after Nepal had a ricochet of a start. They were quick out of the blocks. They were at 19 after 2 overs, but they've only scored 8 runs. There is a bit of a concern there for the mid-order.
Absolutely. The bowlers have tidied up their acts, cleaned up their houses, and then made everything a bit more difficult for Nepal. Romat comes in, and I would like to see Namibia applying a bit more pressure. Of course, these moments, like we said, cricket is made of moments, and the team that captures the many moments usually give themselves a very good chance to win. I'd like to see some field changes, maybe bring in some wicket-taking options in the shape of slips, or the cover coming a lot closer. Oh, that's another good one from Wilka. She has her tail up right now.
I'd like to give credit to Wittmann, the captain of this Capricorn Eagles side. The fact that she was smart enough to keep Wilka, her prime fast bowler, bowling from that end, and has paid a lot of reward. Wilka has picked all 3 wickets so far to have fallen by the Nepalese. So it's looking like if she can look to get just one more, they'll quickly be in the middle of Nepal.
Another one played straight to the fielder there. End of the over. Still 27 for 3. Wilka will walk back to that fielding position with a bounce in her stride, having bagged all the 3 wickets to fall.
Well, no bowling changes yet, as the opening combo that has been successful for Namibia will continue to operate. Saima comes back for her 3rd. And I know that she just simply needs to do a supportive role, as Wilka is simply doing all the damage from the other end.
Absolutely, Davis. Saima will have something to do with her economy at the moment. She conceded 12 in the first 2 overs. And she would like to bring that down significantly if she's going to offer any kind of assistance to Wilka. And that's not a bad way to start. Starts with a dot ball, keeping Pooja very quiet. I tell you what, Davis, the run rate is still very impressive, and that is due to the fact that that Nepal got off the blocks quite quickly. But things have gone so quiet since then. Another dot ball.
Yeah, and Ivan, that statistic I was giving you, it's still just 8 runs. Last time I talked about. And that's exactly 20 balls. They've scored 18 runs. They've scored 8.
Squeeze a single. Good fielding there too. Manages to prevent potentially a boundary, because that ball, had it gone to the left or to the right, the narrative would be completely different. But yeah, if she manages to keep out the next 3 balls, if Saima manages to keep them quiet, the over would be productive as well. And that would put further nails into the progress of Nepal. Let's see how she deals with these next 3 balls.
Very well driven there by Romat. Hasn't been there for too long, but you see some good skill there to lean on the front foot and drive that. Was not able to get that into the gap. Couldn't beat the Yasmin Khan, who is waiting there in that extra cover region. But I'll tell you a thing or two about Namibian sides. They're always very well drilled. They go into tournaments being very well prepared, and they know exactly what they're doing. Too much width there. Saima very lucky to get away with that one. I know it's International Women's Day, but we obviously must give credit to the 2 gentlemen standing out there in the red shirts and black trousers. Patrick Makumbi, the main umpire, in your frame there. Together, Simon Chintu, the leg umpire. Very well ball yet again from Saima. She's stringing together dot balls. And with that dot ball brings an end to the power play. Nepal at 28 for 3 after 6.
Highlights of the first power play. See how the wickets fell. First wicket going by the route of bowled. Boundaries there. Some more fortuitous than anything else. Another big one down the ground there. That is what sealed the power play.
Very well struck there behind point for 4 runs. Good catch by the fielder there in that cover region. Beautifully taken. That was clipped off. Unfortunately, she ricocheted onto the leg stump. And with that brought an end to those highlights of the power play of Nepal. And yet again, Suna Wittmann continues to throw the ball to Wilka. Her prime opening bowler is bowling her 4th and final over in this particular match. Starts off with a dot ball. There is a change in the commentary box as Ivan Thawithamwina takes a break. I welcome Michael Grace Ndiko into the commentary box.
Thank you, Davis. How was your afternoon?
Not too bad, can't complain. I think the weather is fantastic, not too hot. Bit of a chilly breeze, you will say, obviously blowing across the ground from that Lake Victoria itself. Other than that, I'm really not complaining. I'm all right.
I guess Wilka would as well agree with you, because looks like it is a good bowler's paradise for a little moment. Having already picked her 3 in just 3.2 overs.
Yes, Mike, I would like to ask how your afternoon is going. We last saw you, obviously, you were out there with the 2 captains at the toss. What did you make of the wicket? What did it look like to you? Especially based on your wealth of knowledge. What would you, a reasonable total to look at?
Well, Davis, indeed, during the toss, the captain of Nepal said they would look to target about 110, 120. And surely the wicket seems to be offering fair conditions for either whoever applies themselves better. But clearly right now, the bowler Wilka is, she's really been the one on top of the day as well. But earlier on, as we saw in the power play, in the earlier overs, it was possible to apply oneself and get some runs going into this particular inning.
Bit of a glass there, you would say, by the batter. Romat is underway with that little glance to square leg. There's obviously work to do for the mid-order batters of Nepal. They'll know that their team is in a bit of a spot of bother. But they need to hang in there, but for at least another 4 to 5 overs without necessarily looking too much at the scoreboard. If they can get to that 50 mark by the 12th over, in my opinion. It would give themselves a chance to have set themselves a launch pad to try and make full use of the latter overs. But in contrast, Namibia continuing to tighten that noose over the Nepalese batters.
There is a stranglehold on the game as of the last couple of overs by Namibia's bowlers. And that said as well, you mentioned about the wicket. I think it's just like the typical Entebbe conditions. It tends to offer better conditions in the afternoon for batting, considering the bit of the baking of the ground. But yes, that brings us to 31 for 3 after 7 overs.
Batting card. Samjana started things off, got 80. Quick fire, 18 of 11. Rubina was sent packing very early. She faced only 2 deliveries. Pooja is still out there, 5 of 12. Captain Indu Bama was sent back the heart, scored only 2 of 11. Roma is still out there on 1 of 6. So the score so far is 31 for 3 after 7. Unfamiliar tactics here from Wittmann. But she does recognize that she is in cruise control here, as our opening bowlers have done an exceptional job. And she opts not to make the bowling change, perhaps, that the Nepalese were waiting for, and allows Sayama, who has bowled exceptionally well, to continue and bowl her final over of this particular game. One could argue the bowlers of Namibia have literally taken the game away. They have blown the Nepalese batters away.
You know, Davis, this is an interesting display of cricket indeed. It can only be acclaimed for the Women's Day Cup indeed, because having had the first 2 overs going about 18, almost 9 and over, and then pulling it back to only 33 after 7.2 overs is quite a story to write home about the kind of tactics and character of these 2 particular opening pair of bowlers for Namibia.
Yes, you're spot on, Mike. I think it was a power play of 2 contrasts. Namibia pulling things back after Nepal had gotten off to a flyer. Beautifully cut there, unable to pierce the gap. And that's kept in by the fielders. The in-ring, I've liked the fact that the fielders of Namibia have stayed on the ring. They have not spread the field out, so they have not allowed for any free, simple singles for the Nepalese to take. They have kept the field tight. Even when they know that they're done with the power play, they have the option of, you would say, sending a couple of fielders to the boundary, but they have not done that. Opted to keep the pressure on. And the pressure is continuing to mount as they string together a number of dot balls, Mike.
Wow, this is very good to see by Saima to Hadeleni, because even in her final over, she's still fielding off her own bowling with such grit and stamina, and it's only a testament to what kind of character she is as a bowler, having backed up her partner in this particular opening pair of bowlers. It's just amazing to see.
Another full and straight delivery. Yet again from Saima, continuing to string together dot balls, fielding off her own bowling. Pressure is being built, but I like that in-ring, that very tight field on the offside. No easy singles on offer here for the Nepalese. 1 delivery to go. Very well struck there by the batter. This time goes over the infield, manages to get that into that outfield and gets 2 runs to the total. And with that double, brings an end to the 8th over. Nepal 35 for 3.
Davis, as a former captain yourself of the Cricket Cranes, I know you must have been a strict or a stickler for positive and attacking fielding. You wouldn't easily give away that extra single.